What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune in and check out the channel and the content. And with that being said, man, this latest whiteboard demonstration that Rich Paul gave to me is just another demonstration that another example that LeBron James or Rich Paul, in my opinion, is not qualified to to be a spokesperson for LeBron James, right? Because the whiteboard demonstration that he gave, in my opinion, was beneath LeBron James. When you have somebody like LeBron James who's worth, over $1 billion, that's not the way you present him, number one. And number two, that's not the stage where you present or make an argument for LeBron James as far as him being able to trying to get on the team. You need to Rich Paul need to be in front of managers, owners, team executives, and he also need to have a more solid argument than what he presented at the whiteboard. So if you haven't had an opportunity to see Rich Paul and Max Kellerman discuss LeBron James and his options on that whiteboard, just go on YouTube and check it out, right? It's all over the place. But Rich Paul presented these arguments and presented this whiteboard the same way he would back when he was selling T-shirts out of the trunk of his car. And for him to be, dealing with somebody like LeBron James, like I said, LeBron James is worth over $1 billion. It's just beneath him. That's, in my opinion, that's like trying to sell a Rolex watch wrapped in tissue paper, right? It's just, it's all about presentation. And another example, and I just think that, LeBron James, when you give people a job just because they're your friend or somebody, they're cool, and you put them in positions, I think you need to put them in positions where they can really help and really make a difference. Rich Paul right now is he's taking on a task and he's taking on a job that he's just not qualified for. And this is why, in my opinion, like managers, team owners, and executives are not really taking LeBron James and Rich Paul serious right now because of what's going on. I don't know if he think that him going onto a podcast and pulling up a whiteboard is going to really catch their eye, catch their attention, and be like, he's making some great points. It's just not that. And I think that Rich Paul, in my opinion, is really letting LeBron James down. If this is the best LeBron James can do, then, if this is the best Rich Paul can do for LeBron James after LeBron James has put him in the position that he's put him in, it's sad. It's like the situation for LeBron James is just sad all the way around. And he's going out sad. That's why, in my opinion, like team building is just so important. It's so important. And LeBron James throughout his career, he's cherry picked, and moved on from situation to situation as a player. But as a business owner, you can't do that. He shouldn't have been doing it as a professional basketball player, like trying to cherry pick and move from team to team, trying to see what situation is the best. I think that LeBron James should have put himself in one place and just tried to learn and get better from there. That would have, in my opinion, set a better example for people like Rich Paul. Like, they would have had to dig in too and get better at their job. Because now that LeBron James, his career is winding down, he's going to need Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, Randy Mims. He's going to need those guys who he gave opportunities to be able to do their jobs, to be able to, to help grow LeBron's brand, help to move their business interests forward. But the way they're going about it, they're just really just leaning on the fact that he's LeBron James, right? And that, thinking that, okay, well, he's LeBron James, people definitely going to want to do business with him. And the wrong mindset to have when you are like when you're managing somebody like LeBron James and you're helping LeBron James to grow his business and his brand. You just can't rely on their fame and their fortune. And that's what all of these guys are just living off of, is the fact that LeBron James, he has the money and he has the fame. So we can take and parlay that into different business interests, right? When that's not necessarily the case. You know, outside of basketball, LeBron James is going to be dealing with other business professionals and some of these people may not even care about what LeBron James did on the basketball court, but they want to, if they see a competent team around LeBron James, then that might encourage them to do business with LeBron James, because they say, all right, LeBron James is a sharp dude. He surrounded himself with sharp people. So we stand a good chance of making some money here. We can invest together and we can make some money. But when you have somebody like Rich Paul, who think he's still selling T-shirts out of his trunk, the trunk of his car, then it's going to be hard for people to take LeBron James as a businessman serious, right? This is right now is the time where these guys should shine, and they should be like, all right, let us do what we do. Go to LeBron James, be like, all right, man, you helped us out. You put us in this position. Let us do, what you hired us to do. LeBron James, his whole thing was just to play basketball and be the best basketball player he could be. And these guys had different jobs and different interests within the organization that they should have been trying to grow and get better at. They should have been, this whole time that LeBron James has been in the league, and these guys had opportunities to build bridges and make contacts and network and things like that. So now all of this stuff, all of these different opportunities should be ready to kick in for LeBron James and kick in for Rich Paul and kick in for Randy Mims and Maverick Carter. Like, now is the time to capitalize on all of that networking and building bridges and relationships, because that's basically what business is all about, right? Business is about relationships. And I think Rich Paul started this Clutch Sports in 2016, right? So that's 10 years ago, right? 10 years of bridge building, 10 years of relationships that, that they could have established with people, but they didn't do that. The whole time that these guys were just leaning into the fact that, we're with LeBron James. Like, that was their end with everybody. Instead of going out here and proving themselves, and not only just proving themselves, but earning their keep. And with LeBron James' team, especially these guys, I don't see that. I see these guys, it's almost like having kids. Like when you have kids, they take advantage of the fact that, like, their parents are well off. But instead of being kids, you're talking about three grown men. I think that LeBron James, he's going to come to realize that he made a big mistake when it came to this, right? And what happens is, these guys are not going to be able to help LeBron James. They're going to be looking at LeBron James like, what we do now, instead of trying to, they don't, it's just too little too late. None of these guys are really going to have any solutions for how to move LeBron James forward. He's been carrying them. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised that, like, within the next few years, it comes out that LeBron James is having financial issues, because he's carrying everybody. He's carrying everybody. Now, do I think LeBron James is going to go broke? No, I don't think he's going to go broke at all, because, he's just worth so much money. I don't think he'll ever go broke. But I do think that he's going to have to separate himself from these guys, especially on the business aspect, because, I just think the ride is over. They don't really bring any real value to the team, or to his business team, so to speak. They don't bring any value to his business team. They the whole time just been living off of the fact that he's LeBron James and he got money, he's famous, and we're gonna capitalize on that. Whereas though these guys should have been taking the opportunity, like I said, they starting businesses, and the business is being supported by the leverage that LeBron James has coming from the NBA. So and that's why owners don't take them serious. Team owners don't take them serious. Managers are really not taking them serious because they see the right need. These guys are professionals. They know business. They know how to read people, and they can see, they can see through some BS a mile away. And that's basically, when you listen to Rich Paul, that's basically what it is. It's a bunch of, like, he's speaking just to hear himself. He think that he sound intelligent when that's not really the case. It's just speak on what you know and present facts to people. And it's just, you can do that when you're selling t-shirts. People really don't when you're selling t-shirts, people really don't deep dive into, because it's not a real major purchase. You talking about a shirt. Whereas though now you talking about millions of dollars, man. People really do their homework when it comes to, doing business with people when it comes to big money. So yeah, that's why nobody takes this guy LeBron James or his team serious. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.